The mythological cycle is the first cycle in Irish mythology, and this cycle sort of relates to the origins of the Irish and the stories of former gods. And as this is the earliest cycle, it's probably the least less reserved out of all of them. The Lore of Places, or the Metrical Dinshana, and the Libor Gabála Éireann, which is the Book of Invasions, are the two main sources we have for this cycle. And there's some pretty well-known tales that come from this cycle, including the Dream of Angus, Walling of Attain, and the Cat Matira. And the Children of Lur is also part of this cycle, which is arguably one of the most well-known tales in Irish mythology in general. The Libor Gabála Éireann is sort of like pseudo-history which traces the Irish back to pre-biblical times, long before the stories of Noah. And it basically tells of a series of stories of invasions by a variety of people. And the most popular of these is probably the fifth invasion, which is the invasion of the Tuatha Dé Danann, who were believed to be the inhabitants of Ireland long before the Gaels arrived. Their main enemies were the Fomorians, which were led by Balor of the Evil Eye. Balor was slayed by Luglan Fada at the Second Battle of Moytara. And this is basically how the fairies came into existence. When the Gaels arrived, the Tuatha Dé Danann were forced underground, and the fairies are largely believed to be them. And the Metrical Dinshana is perhaps the main primary source when it comes to ancient Ireland. And you'll find the origins of many place names and people in the forms of tales and poems. And this source also included a lot of information on some of the most well-known figures and locations, battles from this cycle, including the Battle of Talchew and the tale in which the Tuatha Dé Danann were defeated by the Milesians. By the turn of the Middle Ages, a lot of the people's views on this cycle sort of differed. The Tuatha Dé Danann weren't really viewed as being gods in themselves. They were more sort of shape-shifting magicians, if you want to call it that. And they believed this was sort of like a golden age of Ireland. They were presented as more of sort of heroes of the past, and there's a lot of historic sources that claim that they were deities. And a lot of these characters in this cycle will crop up later on in the future cycles, and they tend to contradict themselves a little bit. And there's a lot of contradictions in terms of their immortality. And some of the characters that are displaced due to this would be Angus himself, the Morrigan, Lug, even MacAlur. And there's a good quote here from the Book of Leinster in a poem. I'm going to read this off here because I've got some notes. It says, "Although the author enumerates them, he does not worship them." Now we're going to go into more detail on some of these figures and tales in different videos. I'm going to try and separate them up. But I'm going to try and pump out these videos. I'm not sure I'm going to do them every week or maybe twice a week. I'm going to try and stick to a schedule from now on, because it's got to be about a year since my last video, so I need to get on track with this. But I do have a lot of plans. I do want to eventually go to Ireland. I am hoping to move back. I'm hoping to do a lot of videos at different castles, different locations. Obviously I'm going to have to invest in a proper microphone, because my last video when I was outside had a lot of ambient sound, especially the birds, so I'm going to try and fix that. But please stay tuned, remember to subscribe, like these videos, leave comments and suggestions below, and hopefully I'll be back soon with another video.